9K. The radio pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up.
You are looking on now live here on PTM Racing TV down on the track here at Watkins Glen, New York at Watkins Glen International as we are about to present to you the Venom Truck Series IRC 38 presented by Replicars.com. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Christian Charge. Join you guys here today as we've got ourselves a star-studded lineup ready to go with 20 of the best, ready to take on the elusive road course challenge. We introduce to you our drivers here for the action here in the Venom Truck Series. Start them up on the pole. It'll be Ryan Dye, and the number 15 is outside. Will be John K. Piling in the 2. And row number 2, Andy Palicki will be in the 32. Is outside. Paul Ellison in the 55. Row number 3 is Pascal Simard, and the number 76 is outside. Michael Krall in the 11. Row number 4 is going to be Jan Van Leer, and the number 5 is outside. Michael Dean piloting the 73. Row number 5 is Kyle Zettel piloting it down in the number 53. It is outside. Will be, of course, the number 22 of Brantley Gainey Jr. Row number 6 is Will Salamone in the 99. Is outside Salamone, excuse me, in the 99 is outside Jeremy McKinnon. Almost had it this time, guys. In the next row, row number 7, we're going to see piloted down. That will be headed up by Stephen Durham in the number 87 is outside, and it'll be Corey Rutherford in the number 50. In row 8, it is going to be Greg Roberts in the 3 is outside. It is Eric Breeding as he will be piloting it down in the number 26. And row number 9, it's going to be Kyle Dumick in the number 18 is outside. David Fay, he will pilot it up down in the 88. Our final starters today in row 10, shotgun in the fields, Garrett Rainey, the 17, Josh Maxwell, and the number 8. And race fans, as we bring them around the track and around the course, we are set to go for the action at hand. The field is set, the racing will be underway and kicked off in just a brief, short stint. Working their way around the track here, getting prepared up for the ballot and John Kay apparently deciding he doesn't want to go the turn course. He wants to take the actual hard way around, I guess you could say. A bit of an interesting little strategy there. Field preparing up for battle right now. Jeremy McKinnon, the 12, has not made the call, has not made it up on the track here. Some things to know here going into this race, of course, will definitely be a bit of a go around here or two. You're going to be noticing here in the race itself that we will have these drivers coming to a little caution end here. There are no cautions, so the cautions are not here today. So yellows are off on the road courses. The competition caution will fly at lap 5, and then from there it'll be kind of get and go and kind of race from there. So watch for that 5th lap to come up, and then the caution to fly around off the distance into corner number 3 down in turn number 4 this time on by. We set the drivers down the track, down the way. It's green flag racing. We're off the track and on to go. And because I know a lot of you at home will have no idea where the heck any of our drivers are at right now, I'll give you a little bit of a help here. Our track map presented by our friends down at Replicars.com. Into the early going Ryan Dye, and the 15 takes early advantage. The number 32 of Andy Palicki will make the early jump out of the gate. John Kay, the number 2, trying to move his way down to the chains, trying to stick with it. Out of the gate here, trying to hold on, keeping him speed up on the runs, keeping him run and the clear. Jan Van Leer right now is the one driver you're going to watch out for that is representing his Replicars camp today. That is his own designed up beast there, and that is his own little tribute to the sponsor today of Replicars.com. Jan Van Leer, one of the guys that had drove with the Replicars truck, has also had permission. He also had a little bit of a help from those guys down there. Really helped put these guys on the map and put them up for a track today, so they can go out and race with the best and the brightest. And they certainly have not disappointed out the first lap anyway. But we still have quite a few laps to go. I think the biggest thing that's going to really be a detriment to some of these guys, some of these drivers, is they're going to have to try to figure out a way to work around this tight little section here at turn number 1. You see, if you were to go outside of that little bounding box there, you see those turtles and the curves. That's actually a no-go zone. That actually means you're going to get a penalty for driving outside of that track and outside driving limits. That's the last thing anybody wants to be thinking about. It's the thing that's going to really test some of these guys up late in the run. That's why I've seen a lot of drivers out of the gate taking very, very slow starts, very patient starts here, trying to avoid the other as you ship it down from out of turns 3 and 4 to into the bus stop of 5 and 6. 12 turns really ramping around Watkins Glen. Very tight little sections, very tough little angles to work around. And many guys kind of staying back behind the white lines or staying back behind their own little P's and Q's here for the most part right now. John Cannon 2 falls down 1. Andy Palicki in the 32 right now is on a hard charge to get at Ryan Dye, number 15. Ryan trying to keep the speed up as he's got the taste of the thing 15 ahead. Driving in deep though, Palicki gonna make Dye think about this one a little bit. Down on the right side, charging the right end, turn 1, down, swings it into 2, 3, and 4. Entering off the corner into 3 and now 4 through the slippery slopes up the hill. Yeah, that's a hill they're going up. And these things, when they are going up the hill, I tell you, it is not an easy task to even hold these things online. I've had so many times I've lost his rear end out on me just trying to get through that set of corners. The bus stop was pretty easy if you knew how to brake properly, but those that don't know how to brake properly, well, let's just say you may want to find a route out around here, because that bus stop will send you flying high and sky high if you are not careful. Corey Rutherford right now on the number 50 here as he continues to pilot his way around the track. Although I'm trying to figure out what kind of number he's got put up on that thing. Looked like more than anything he actually damaged the truck up. That's actually how it's supposed to be designed. I think he may have just had scrapes and bruises on it from previous races and just didn't bother putting it off. So he's like, hey, what the heck? I'll just put another coat of paint on it and call it good. Well, not a bad idea, stuff. I'll give him that much. Double down there. Unfortunately, though, we got a little bit of a work around here. We're not quite into the not quite into lap 5 yet, but there's trouble for Cole Maxwell in the number 8. Number 8 here getting way too aggressive and getting himself into a bad spot. Here's the PTM Racing replay. Came off down around turn number 11, then swung it into turn 12 way too hard, or tried to anyway. Slams the wall, slams it just enough to where it actually cost him plenty of time and a lot of run there. And that's going to definitely hurt his momentum coming later into this race. Maxwell was not able to refire here. He goes into pit road. He's just going to try to get damage cleaned up as much as he can, as we see Greg Roberts in the 3 right now dealing with Corey Rutherford in the number 50. Rutherford giving him a lot of openings here and trying to get a gate, just trying to make the move, but you can just see how difficult it is to hold these trucks online. Make no bones about it, folks. This isn't what you would see from like a NASCAR E game or any of the ignition games right now. This is literally what the drivers are facing, is an actual loose-ended truck to really work around, and a lot of tough spots to have to get around too. It is going to be an absolute driver's course today to anybody that's able to figure it out and get it dialed in. And Flicky out of the gate, man, he is already getting it done as Ryan Dye tries to get up there with him. Paul Ellison, the 55 now, the Toyota Tundra camp. One of the lone Tundras right now trying to take over position as the cautions are out. Lap 5 has been hit. So Andy Plicky will take home this one here out of the gate. As the field right now looks to try to get squared back up into position here on the start. Time to take one more look at what happened to Cole Maxwell while the drivers are currently under the pit road stops here, getting settled back down. Well, again, Maxwell going for a wild ride there, entering off that turn, and we're going to take another look at it and just give you guys a better idea and a concept of like what he's dealing with in that truck. Here's another look at it. You can see right here, this is a very tight little braking spot. You can see he was already kind of out of sequence in the gearing. He was way too low in gear and ended up going too high then. And then unfortunately going into that turn, kind of did an over-under on himself. Really not a lot of areas to get around from that spot. Really a lot of places to get through from there, and he knew it too. So he'll learn to make up for that mistake, but you can just see right here, once that steering kind of went as he went up that hill, he knew the rear end was already kicked out, so he's on the brakes trying to save it and trying to make sure he doesn't wreck anyone else. Sadly, too little too late, and truck was having all sorts of problems getting out of that wall protection down there. That is where the troubles began, unfortunately, down on the track for Mr. Josh Maxwell. Tough break there for him out of the gate. We'll see if he can bring it back around here, though, as we're currently getting settled up down off the pit stops here and off pit road here. Drivers are currently under the pit stop here, just trying to get settled back down. I think really just trying to get settled back in as well, as the field right now is going to be in pit road coming down out, and we'll see what happens from here. Sorry about that, folks. We're currently trying to get back on the live stream here. We didn't realize where it went to. The producers were a little confused on how to get that set up. The Venom Truck Series right now, the ICR 38, IRC 38, presented in part by Replicars.com. Looking to make some major noises, major runs here. Throughout this season, though, we've seen quite a bit of heavy hitters and some serious taking names and stealing games here from these drivers. There has been quite a few of them moving the chains to kind of take a position over when they can, and a lot of them are finding it seemingly kind of later in the race. As we previously noted here on PTM Racing TV before, it seems as though the more you get in debt with these kind of races, the more it kind of comes more naturally to you. And so far out of our winner set, Kyle Siddle has got the first one still with that Venom World 175, and then it was back at the Fallen Not Forgotten 132. Andy Palicki just completely owned it down on the Dover end of the Monster Mile. Then a couple weeks ago, we saw Jeff Langston bring one home in the You Look Good in Blue 165. And then it was Carson Mitchell came roaring in Michigan with an 80-lap battle there. And then finally, 150 laps to the distance, he would take the Dodge Duck Dip Dive and Dodge Invitational 150. For those of them that don't know, that was a reference to the movie Dodgeball, if you will. Definitely a very unique little circumstance they've kind of put into the tie-in of the movie and the show. But, you know, Mitchell is the only driver so far that's got 2 wins to his name and has gone back-to-back. But we saw Andy Palicki a minute ago actually put the 32 in the top spot. Could he be only the second driver to get this one today? We'll find out as we get later into this race. But right now he's got some work to do here on a road course. Being in the middle or being in the back is kind of a bit of a tricky little circumstance. You're going to need to hope that the other drivers make some mistakes and give you an opening here. You'll have to start in the 6th slot, as the rest of your field right now came in on pit road on lap number 6 or 7. Your top 5 right now: Brantley Gainey Jr., Michael Dean, John Van Leer, Michael Kroll, and John Kay have not been in pit road. So that leads me to believe they're looking more towards track position and trying to last out the run. It's a very unique strategy and a very tight little strategy here. I don't know if that will work out long term for them. They've got their hands full here in this race. That is much is for certain. Top 3 interviews will be done at the end of this race as well, so stay tuned for that. We'll have about 30 laps still left to go here on PTM Racing TV. As your field of drivers now settle back down and settle them up here at Watkins Glen, New York. Road map on the right side of your screen, that will show you all the race all around, where every driver is and where we're looking at certain drivers. you'll see their number pop up a little bit more than others, and you'll see where everyone is leader-wise to positions. Those little dots you see as well, those are time delta sheets, so they'll explain where the delta is and where the positions are at on the race. As we send them on back down off of turn number 12, I believe, and heading down this way. I'm not very good at road courses, guys. I'm just going to admit that up front. But anyway, we're going back to the race. The action in hand, and we're settled down, ready to go once again here on PTM Racing TV. Michael Crawl in turn number 1, entering in. John K blocks to the run here, tries to keep himself under control. Andy Flicky already moving back into the 5th slot here. Now has to deal with lap traffic. Jan Van Leer in the number 5 looking to try to make some moves here and get through the liberation of these drivers. Double filed in off of turn number 4 though. How about that right there? Kyle Zettel and Zesco Simard ran right into one another. Nowhere to go. And remember, there's no cautions, so they got to drive it from here. Simard just literally getting sent back into the shadow realm. My word, he got completely owned and destroyed there off that turn. I think Samar was trying to avoid him, but instead ended up getting that corner flipped out from the front end of the nose of Zettel, and Zettel had nowhere to go. What a huge hit. We'll take a look at the replay in just a little bit, but right now, we're still on the edge there of our season. Michael Dean now tries to get the 73 right on Jan Van Leer. Jan Van Leer getting up ahead of him, right in position, getting a much better drive off turn 12. Andy Flicky's noticing that much too, as he tries to recenter off and regain positions. And Flicky doing what he did earlier on, down there to Mr. Ryan Dye, making a big move off, sending it down to turn number 1, forcing the number 73 to have to drive it a little bit more stable, a little bit more on the edge of his seat. Time to take a look at that replay though. Kyle Zettel, my word, did he take a huge hit there. And we're going to kind of watch it from our chopper cam here, what exactly transpired that got us into this mess here. Watch this. Simard on the right side of your screen, Zettel on the left. Double file here for a minute, get cleared out. And looks like maybe Zettel actually came into him a little bit. It looked like maybe he kind of turned it just a slight bit right off the corner. May have been trying to save his truck. Kind of hard to tell from that angle. We'll take one more look at it. Well, from that angle, it looks like Simard actually did drive it slightly into his corner, getting the driver and himself to actually just completely wash out and destroy each other in that wreckage there, in a tough break there to say the least, as everyone else right now tries to avoid trouble. As I think the producers want to show me something else here. They said while we were under the replay, yeah, it is David Fay. Well, let's just say he didn't quite stick the landing here. Came off right on that corner there and just got completely sideways there, had nowhere to go and kind of sent on around, unfortunately. Slows down his pace, slows down his momentum as the field currently moving their way around. Big move on the bottom lane now. Corey Rutherford in the number 50 making a straight charge on Garrett Rainey here, moving back into position, charging right up ahead. Side by side now, Rutherford getting ahead of Rainey. Rainey trying to get back in and debate. And you listen to that throttle rhythm right now Rainey's trying to do. You can actually hear the RPMs kind of getting in a pitcher momentary fever there. But watch as he breaks in and he starts to break down. You see he's cornering at about 400 degrees there at the 400 marker, trying to stabilize it in. And now we've got even more trouble down there. That is the 87 of that is currently Stephen Durham, Jeremy McKinnon involved in that huge wreck there. Yeah, these guys are just taking things to a whole other level in these corners. They are struggling to get around the bus stop. And I thought honestly that'd be the easier spot, but apparently braking zones are being a little bit tricky for these guys. Well, here's what happened to the 87. You see he's on the brake hard, but he slams right into the corner fence there. The 12 McKinnon, nowhere to go, and got rammed right in between. Nothing he could do about that, and that is a huge, tough break there. That's a bad moment in its own right, but thankfully all drivers are okay. That could have been a much worse hit though for the 87. One more look at it as we're generally watching on the onboard camera here. Just jammed it right in. Bam! Just slammed right into there, and you just can't get out of that. There's nowhere to escape, and there's nowhere to run at all. And they knew it all too well. Field right now currently back on lead lap, back on lead pace. Let's get back to the live coverage here. I know you guys probably are getting kind of tired of this going to the replay, but that's where all the action sometimes kind of happens at. We can't ignore it. And sometimes you got to remember, in the racing world, the action, it stays hot, and we must keep it going here on PTM Racing TV. So, Bradley Gainey Jr. right now, the number 22, going to get right up ahead of Kyle Zittel. Zittel is going to falter many laps back now. There's some troubles earlier on in the 53. It is going to cost him, and he's going to actually try to stay out of the way of trouble here for these guys. John Kay out of the gate, though, the number 2. Surprise, surprise here, actually. John getting a great little jump out of the gate here. Looking like maybe he could be a favorite and a contender. Michael Krall, though, in that 11 is not giving out just yet, though. I kind of like that little red, white, and blue scheme he's got going on. The Dairy Queen number 2, I like it. It's got a nice little sign to it. Kind of looks more like the French flag in some ways, but at the same time, you know, if you kind of thought about it, it looks like my Iowa flag as well. So, I mean, I can't complain. I like it. It looks good. Credit where credit's due there, John. Will Salamone in the 99 Orioles machine. Last time we saw him out, my word, did he have a night in the depths and the dumpsters of the bottom of the shadow round, man. He got sent around, he got taken out, he got pushed and beaten and banged a little bit too much. Martinsville Speedway was not a track that these guys wanted anything to do with, and they are still kind of reeling and dealing from it. As you see some of the wreckage early on out of the gate. Everybody's trying to evade and avoid when they can, trying to keep the speeds going as much as possible here. Still a lot of hard racing, a lot of big moments coming up. Salamone making a great drive off number 15 of Ryan Guy. Ryan not able to hold him in turn 2. Salamone taking the Orioles, number 99 Silverado up ahead, now into the field. Speaking of looking through the field, looking through for some bite right now. Michael Dean in 73, keeping his top 5 hopes and dreams alive right now. John Van Leer, number 5, currently pilots in the 4th slot. John trying to keep his Replicars.com 5 Silverado up ahead of the mixture and up ahead of the speeds. He knows it's going to be a bit of a wild little pushover, a little bit of a get-go. If he's not careful, he needs to stay focused on the track. He needs to stay focused on his drive, as currently the field is just working everything they can on this place. Well, the big black number 3 here of Greg Roberts, kind of a... If I used to see a big 3 out there in a black truck or car, I usually think of only one thing out there, which you guys probably can equate and relate to already by now. But yeah, Roberts definitely got the skull and crossbones style looking like pretty good. Kind of, I know this is a monster truck reference, but kind of reminds me of Mr. Destruction back when they were doing the stunt days because Anderson. I don't know. I probably just made myself sound bad just trying to compare Monster Jam, but I can compare it because Gandon Murphy literally just a couple days ago at Nashville Super Speedway was driving a truck, and he's a monster truck driver. So I think it was Corkscrewville. Then come at me for that one if you guys wish. Anyway, 25 laps left to go right now, and the number 26 coming right up into the field. That's Eric Breeding as Kyle Dumick looks to try to hold it back to the 18. Breeding trying to get a jump on the inside. Now looking to the left, looking to the right, goes down for the right side. He's going to enter into the bus stop in a very tight little predicament. Can't get the run, and it's Dumick who takes full control, taking it right back at him here. Andy Blicky in the big old red, white, and blue 32 F-150, trying to keep the Eagle Claws wrapped up and out open. Remember, these drivers will not be joining us next week, as if you guys kind of haven't already figured it out by now with that scheme. It's Independence Day coming up here in the American side, but also on Friday the 1st here. Happy Canada Day to my Canadian friends and my and my folks over there. I know we got a lot of viewers from that end. Of course, some drivers from the Rock and then. So really appreciate you guys and your support. Hope you guys are enjoying the show still here. Eric Breeding right now in the 26, taking away the top number 12 spot here from the 18 of Dumick. Dumick not able to hold him back. And even Breeding actually getting a little bit of that flavor and scheme down there. Looks like he's trying to rock her a little bit here. So much action right now on the track. You can see just from our roadmap too. Look at the amount of distance to travel. These guys are getting ahead of one another. Again, this is really just showing you what these drivers are facing up against. They're going from oval tracks to literally now a road course track. The only thing missing now is to throw them on a dirt track or literally throw them at a rallycross track. And I really hope they actually don't do the rallycross one, but I would love to see these guys throw it down on dirt. You guys know how I am with dirt track racing. Michael Dean still about a half a second away here from getting Jan Van Leer. Jan been pretty much kind of keeping pace, tempoing it around. And this has been something we've seen all season round so far. He likes to tempo it early. He likes to kind of stay out of trouble and let the truck kind of do its own thing. He's been pretty clever down there with the way he likes to figure it out and the way he wants to run it. I'm not surprised by any means that this is the case right now, but I mean, at the same time, that will be a very big little discrepancy here late in there. Speaking of a little bit of discrepancy here, Paul Ellison in the Code Red Mountain Dew, as well as that Red Diamond Toyota Tundra, is now looking towards the front, looking towards the end here, looking to get some speed up on the track and on the corner here. Field right now, currently trying to find some leverage, trying to find some gain here, and there really hasn't been much of kind of chaos or madness ever since our little start, if you will, there. Although David Fay seems to have found another way around that, had to come to a dead stop there, but has gotten the 88 squared back away. He did go for a little spin there down on the back straightaway past the carousel here. As you go down the bus stop, that carousel is the next turn up, as we'll go on board here with the 88. So we talked about the bus stop, but I haven't mentioned the carousel here. Probably one of my favorite turns out of this whole track, to be honest with you. It's just a straight right-hander with a very nice little bobbed edge here. If you know how to time your shot just right, you can build so much speed and really a lot of ground made up to then make it into this 90-degree end turn, which is turn 11 and turn 12. Very sharp corner, though. Really got to tempo it. And it can get the better of you sometimes if you're not careful. I can tell you that much right now. Never had any success here at Watkins Glen. I've only had like top fives in my career, but I can tell you that these drivers, the way they're tempoing, they're placing their momentum, their motors right now, they're still trying to find every little angle, trying to find every little spot that they can to get these trucks in full gear and full torque, while also dealing with the added pressure that goes into this kind of race and this kind of style. Back on board with Ryan Dye, the number 15 here, as currently he was our #1 seed entering into this race, but alas, one lap does not set the tone, does not set the field up. This is not what he wanted to be. He was hoping to be a little bit further up, but due to his little pit stop angle and little shots he's been throwing into the dark, he has not been able to get back in this. However, it being a 6-7 lap ordeal with a little bit of a colder, with a bit of a pressure set tires, I don't know how long John Kay, Michael Krall, Andy Plicki and them can last before maybe the tires start to get a little bit tore up down there. Could be really anybody's guess here. Jan Van Leer in the 5 passed up there as well. He lost a couple positions. I did not see where that happened. Looked like it was back on lap number 13, unfortunately, for Mr. Jan Van Leer. So it looks like they lose positions up as the boys are currently now dealing with each other's game plans here. Michael Dean even now making a big little mistake there, coming off of turn 11 down turn 12. Paul Ellison with the run in the red Diamond 55 puts it right up ahead, moving the chains ahead of Michael Dean. Dean will head to pit road, get some fresher set of tires. Well, Salamone in the 99 also currently trying to push and shove his way around, making some good charges, some good stoic moves here. Troy Rutherford, the 50, not the hard charge of the day. So far, that honor goes to Greg Roberts, but you got to give Rutherford his credit where credit's due. He has been absolutely hitting the homers and hitting some shots in the arm as of late when it comes to his racing ordeal. Had a tough little start at the beginning of the first 3 races, but then started to come back alive now wants to try and get a road course challenge feat off his race, off his list and off his bucket list, if you will. Hey, what's going on board here? Brandon Gain Jr. is number 22. Kills it right off the turn number 1. And again, you just listen to that throttle rhythm and that push that they have coming off the track and off the corners. They've got a lot of give and a lot of giveaway, but at the same time, it's very telling when you get a little bit further indebted and further into the race here, just how much these guys are tearing up some equipment, tearing up on the track and the tires wise. Here's the best lap time as well being presented up on your screen here, and you're gonna see these are laps that really you wouldn't think would be the best time or their best efforts, but sometimes it actually works out okay for them. Like the 1:14.57, obviously it shows John Kay definitely has momentum and speed here, but control and consistency I think really is the main player. I think honestly probably could have landed in the 1:13 if he really had wanted to. His qualifying time was only a step slower than what Ryan Dye laid down earlier, so I mean it's not hard to see why he is in this spot right now that he's in, but at the same time, can he make it last the entire race? That's going to be the biggest thing he'll have to answer for himself. 18 laps left to go here as currently we are now heading to the clear zone edge of this one. We are nearing, we are past the halfway point. Hard to believe too, we're already past halfway here in this 38 lap race, but that's just kind of how road courses can be sometimes. They can be a bit wild, they can be a bit crazy. And they certainly live up to the reputation of being some impressive racing. Ryan Dye in the 15 now has company behind. Here comes Greg Robertson in the 3, looking to try to make some resurgence back on the show. Road coursing his way around. He's got some serious speed coming for his team. Bantering their way into positions here. The 8 of Josh Maxwell, by the way, earlier on, you saw getting into that little wreck, that little scruffle, has fallen a couple laps down, unfortunately, now. But the good news for him is that he's able to still kind of stick with the guys that are up front, so he knows that if anything happens, he may be able to get a little bit lucky and actually take a position away from him. But cautions-wise, there will be absolutely no cautions here on the track. There will be no other staged race, so whatever you race is what you race. To be honest, the competition cautions, those stage breaks on road courses, I will agree with most of the public. I'm not a fan too highly of, because it, to me, really was never that kind of, that landscape or that kind of workaround. It was more about trying to strive and conquer with the speeds and the level of expertise that it takes in a long setting, in a long format. That's why with these road courses, you always see drivers kind of making a very unique strategy out of the gate with either trying to short tempo or go for long runs. Here in this case, though, it has been mainly the objective of just let the truck go and let the speeds kind of kick in later and just deal with the road course madness later on, if you will. But they've kind of got stuck. They kind of got stuck in it early too, which is going to not help their cause any. Well, John Kay's past halfway, so wherever he decides to go into pit road, it's his own decision. But I think he's going to probably try to last this one out for another 2 or 3 laps here. I mean, if I was him, I'd probably try to get to where it's only about 10 to go and make sure everyone else has gone into pit road before I have, because the thing is, whoever blinks first up in that race lead, I think honestly could probably lose this out. Paul Ellison, the 55, is 16 seconds back. Ryan Dye is 21 seconds, 33 for Corey Rutherford. You know, Michael Krall in the 11 is the only other guy that's having a decent chance right now to get back up to the number 2 K. So if Krall blinks and John Kay sees it, he will go into pit road first. He'll go into pit road next after that, and then pretty much as long as he gets a good stop out there, he's going to back on the track with this race lead in mind. very unique little circumstances here. Speaking of unique little circumstances here, Eric, T, and Kyle do make horrible corner off turn number 12. I don't mean to sound rude, but that Mahindra 18 did not. Yeah, the Mahindra did not get off that run and get off that line of turn 12. You see it actually flatlined a little bit, kind of braked off. And Jan Van Leer using a tremendous amount of speed from a fresh set of tires to actually redirect the airflow back into his favor. The Replicars number 5 has moved into the 8th place spot, as he looks to get back up into the 7th spot, take this one home. Michael Crawl in the 11 has blinked first before the 2 other drivers that have yet to go into pit road. Does John Kay decide to go in now? Well, he's only got about 15 laps left, so if I was him, I'd start really looking towards it. Kind of focusing on K right now, see if he would enter into pit road, and he's got a few more corners left before he makes that decision. The rest of your field right now currently moving their way up ahead of the track. Michael Crawl back out on the track in 5th place. Now has to find a way to really rock and roll it up to Rutherford, Dye, and Ellison. While Kay slamming the wall protection down off turn number 12. There, a little trouble there off that distance. And even more trouble down there in turn number 1, the 99 of Will Salamone. Major issues here for him. And that brings us back to the PTM replay. Looks like there was a little bit of that old hard racing mentality at a real course. The truck's got fenders, so why not use them, I guess, if you will. But this right here may have been a little bit farther than I think they were expecting. Salamone's fenders just completely dived and slammed around. You can see almost taking it out of control. You got the 99 to stop on a dime, though, before entering into the turn number 2 corner. But I guarantee you that was not what he had in mind. I thought Greg actually got him at first. That's why I sent the fenders reference there. But I guess that's why the producers kind of yelled at me. No, that's not the case. But yeah, right there you see. As soon as he got on that binder there, he got onto the curbing. That truck was gone. There's no getting back from that. I can tell you that right now. There is no coming back from that little hiccup. That is going to cost you major time and a half here. Paul Ellison, the number 55, is moved in 2nd place right now, with Ryan Dye right behind him. And Ryan actually making a great comeback here. Getting a bit of a resurgence, a bit of a little extra life, if you will, out on the track. But it is John Kay, your race leader, holding on to the field. But Paul, the thing is, he's only 18 seconds behind. If Kay does not get into pit road sooner or now, actually, I think he may be in a bit of a trouble here. But again, it seems like he's trying to make a monkey out of me and say, I don't need to go into pit road yet. I don't need tires. I don't need fuel. But I just don't see him last out a full 38 laps. I just can't see it. I don't think he's got enough. But then again, you know, these guys have liked to play games on me before. So this might be that I'm completely wrong and I'm losing my mind out here. Kyle's in the Venom Truck Series camp now, putting the 53 back into the fight as he's got a lap. He's now going to become a lap traffic here. That number 2, John Kay, is your race leader. And he will swing it to the right side into the carousel turn. John Kay able to swing this bad boy up ahead. We're on board here. Ford Performance, Billy Bad Motorsport, Billy Bad Button Motorsports Machine. That's a name in it right here. Currently taking full control of pacing the laps and using traffic as his hands, as his helper here. And looks like on a pit road here, there's troubles for the 88, David Fay. As he gets sent back to the shadow realm, looked like he had troubles entering in turn number 1. It seems as though turn number 1's actually giving all these drivers troubles. Came right out. I can see that speed was a little too hot. Rear end kicks out, and he's trying to stop it, but couldn't quite get it to knock off the dime and knock off a spot or two. Definitely caused himself a little bit of a headache there. Gave up a run there to Jan Van Leer in the 5, and then right into turn number 1, you could hear he was still shifting down. That is way too late. Should have slowed down and then kind of regain it, but as a driver, you don't really think about that. What you think about is trying to get back into the throttle, back into the run and the momentum, and you make everything work from there. It did not go in this case. Michael Kroll, after heading into pit road very, very late, ending up in the 5th slot right now. Ryan Dye in the number 15 going back into 3rd. Corey Rutherford going into the 4th. Ellison going into 2nd with a 55, but still 19 seconds back of your race leader, John Kay, in the big Dairy Queen number 2. Ellison still searching for his first win of the season. Would love to knock this one down a bit. Mike Wilcher saying, man, I can't wait till iRacing gives us NASCAR on console. Well, Mike, you're not far off, but unfortunately, it's not NASCAR as the way you think right now. At this point, they're actually just going to give us the World of Outlaws series with a little bit of a fresh coat of paint, some style there. So, definitely interested to see how that goes and how that plays out. And I won't lie to you guys, if you fans want it, and it's possible, honestly, if the World of Outlaws game is as good and as successful as it could be, and you know, people want to see it on our PTM Racing TV streams, I might have to actually go and get it and actually get a new console and figure out all the bugs and kinks and get it broadcast ever on PTM Racing TV. I don't think I won't do it either, guys. I've literally showcased NASCAR Heat 4 on this show before with a little bit of extra tour overlay. You can be surprised what I do with World of Outlaws when it comes to that. But I don't know. We'll see when the time comes, and if anybody wants to broadcast it, let us know. We'll try to figure something out. Michael Kroll now in the 11, now dealing with some truck company right in front of him. Corey Rutherford and the 50 trying to defend him off. Not enough time in this case. Kroll, fresher set of tires, says Rutherford, get out of here, or I'm making you get out of here. He just duct taped that. Yeah, I thought earlier he just had some bandages or stitches on things. I think he duct taped that 50 off that Chevrolet. He put duct tape on that. Yeah, that's old short track racing and dirt track racing mantra for you. John Kay is entering the pit road. Now the clock is on him. Paul Ellison needs to gain the ground, needs to get up there quickly if he wants any chance here. Kay has lost time, lost ground. He knows he needs to get into pit road quickly and get the fuel and get tires probably. I think he might need to get at least 2 right sides because Paul Ellison is going to take the race lead away. The number 55, Red Diamond, Code Red Mountain Dew, advances into the top spot. Ryan Dye falling from behind. And with 10 laps to go, you got to wonder, you know, was the strategy the exact same strategy that really Kay had in mind to win out with, because right now he is still stuck in pit road. Can't get out yet. Michael Dean now even moving up ahead of him. He's lost a lot of spots, so whatever he is doing down there, he is definitely getting fuel and a full thing of tires down there, that's for certain. But even then, is that enough time to get speed and run off the track and get some momentum here? I don't know. It could be interesting here. Mike's saying, yeah, I'm pumped for World of Outlaws. I'm still racing Heat 5. Hey, I was about to say, Mike, I think we've seen you year before on the show, my friend. I could be wrong, though. I could be very wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure we have had you before on the show with one of our broadcasts here. Yeah, I will say though, I am definitely excited to see what they come out with that World of Outlaws. And they even said they've got the street. They've even got they've got the street dirts. They've got late models. They've got, like, I think, modifieds in there, and of course the Outlaws. I'm very excited to see what it is. I still have a PS4, so I'm gonna end up picking it up and take a look at it. But for now, anyway, I definitely don't mind being on my iRacing again still. 9 laps to go. Jan Van Leer in here is the onboard camera. Jan, by the way, he qualified 7th out of the field today. Currently trying to keep it up there with Eric Breeding, the 26, who is the second, is the tied for the hard charge with Corey Rutherford in the 50, tied with him with 10 spots up. Breeding could get more though if he can find a way around some of the tracks, some of around the turns here. Breeding trying to hang on, trying to keep speed up and go for a lap. Mike saying, yes sir, watch a lot. Oh, appreciate it, sir. John K. I don't know what the heck he's got going on, but he's got two popos down there on the police cars end for a comment. I think he's saying that he got duped by the police cars down there. I think he's saying he sped in pit road. He got duped by the officials. Garrett Rainey Jr. here, or Garrett Rainey, excuse me, unfortunately, is currently going to be put a lap down here, and he's going to be passed up by another driver, and Will Salamoni. Salamoni going to the right side, off the bus stop, very tight little end track to end it there with the Oreos 99, but is able to squeak right by. John Kay looking to hunt him back down though. And there is slight damage on the two. You see that left front is actually bent in a little bit. I'm not sure if that was from another driver earlier on or that's from something else, but that is certainly not going to help his cause any when it comes to the later half of this race. Okay, getting around the 17, great pass there off of turn 11 and down turn 12. Throwing up the deuces, throwing up the dukes, trying to get it going back at it. Ellison is being hunted by Ryan Dye though. Dye is only about 2.5 seconds back. I think honestly Ellison might have his hands full if Dye catches him here. Previous laps were literally a 116.70 for Ellison. Ryan Dye was laying down a 116.10. Take a look at our laps here, and Ellison lays down a 116 flat. Dye lays down a 116.56. So Ellison actually able to outmaneuver and outspeed him there just a little bit. Looks like speed might be coming in his favor here. Rutherford trying to stay away from Michael Dean here in the number 76 as he's currently being hunted down by that big Dean, by the Dean of the students today. Michael Dean of the drivers right now currently trying to get some speed going here, trying to get some run off on the track. And looks like we might have a new nickname for him, Dean of the drivers. Michael, you let me know down in the comment section what you think about that nickname, my friend. If not, I swear we'll get rid of it. We'll never say it ever again. But I kind of like it, the Dean of the drivers. I like it. Kind of a school reference. You does school him every now and then too, so that does kind of help his mantra a bit. As you're gonna have to try to figure out a way to school the 18 and Kyle Dumick here. Dumick trying to not get in the way, but at the same time he's kind of giving him a bit of a mess to get around him here. Trouble down there for Garrett Rainey. He goes off track in turn 1. Actually taking a few cones out there as he is seemingly taking out the CLM movement yet again. I wonder if him and Brad Thacker are working together on that. That's all I got to figure on that one in. Rutherford staying away though here for a brief moment as Dean is now full sending it around. You can see him actually getting right over the corners, right over the curbing, trying to get some serious speed and a half on the track and at that number 50. But Paul Ellison and Ryan Dye's little story may be coming to a swifter end than we realize. Ellison's still holding on as Dye continues to try to catch him. Well, Michael B. Dean, I'm not quite sure what he said there. I think he's there. Oh, I get it now. He's got some graduations guys on there. All right, I get the emo now. I think it's saying he agrees with it. He likes it. The Dean of drivers. All right, we'll give it to him. Rutherford right now currently still trying to hang on and putting all that taped up piece of work he's got in that 50 after stealing the pace truck. Now has company coming his way. Here comes the Dean of drivers himself, looking him on the right side. Rutherford's giving him all the room he wants. That's what he wanted. He's going to try to block him on the left side though. Dean's going to need to drive it a little bit slower and actually make the corner. He does, drives it in perfectly around there. Can he hang on? Yes, gets a nice little stable position. The truck rotating around. Apex to the final turns here and will take over the 4th slot. Rutherford falls back one in. Good fight out there by Rutherford, just kind of falling short of a little spot or two. Conditioning themselves around once more here. The rest of your field continuing to drive in and hit it right into back speeds. Guy about 2.6 seconds back. He's got a little bit of speed earlier from Ellison. Ellison hasn't exactly ran away from him. They're right now still running in the 116s, and occasionally Dye getting a much better final set of corners there than Ellison. Ellison seems to be fast on the front half, but the back half seems to be Dye's domain. 5 laps left to go. Now turns to 4 laps to go. Ellison is in the driver's seat, but can he hold on? Eric Breeding right now currently looking to hunt down Jan Van Leer and that number 5 Breeding. Using some power and using a bit of the we the people stance to get this thing kicked up a little bit. He's trying to create a movement in that 26 and he's looking to take it down on the 5 and make sure he is revolutionized on this track. What the heck did I even just say? I don't. Jan Van Leer in the 5 still holds on though. Got a great bit of speed there coming off that final corner compared to Breeding. Ellison trying to avoid any more glitchcraft or gremlins. Had a little bit of a kick up there, if you will. Ryan Dye a lot slower to the bus stop. Honestly, that might be his problem. I think that really is where he's having the most problems, is that bus stop and the carousel. Ellison is laying him thick here and making sure he is just completely being transparent with this track and with this kind of run. Hasn't missed out on his speeds yet. Michael Dean staying ahead of Rutherford there as you see him trying to get back at him just a little bit, trying to get some speed back through as the carousel turns. Shouting to the gauge, shouting to the speeds right now. Last minute chances, last minute opportunities are bending themselves. Josh Maxwell, number 8, back in pit road, gives David Fay, the 88, a chance to kind of resurge. As I say that, almost sends himself back to the shadow realm. I don't think he wants to go back there anytime soon. That could have been a bit of a wild little hit or a little spot to throw himself in. You can just see the distance though that is between these two drivers right now, Ryan Dye and Paul Ellison. He's so far back, and he is, you can see he's virtually fighting that truck as much as he can while also trying to hang on. Ellison, though, really kind of outstretched and outsmarted him there on the last half, and woo, well, that definitely is a wheeled man's move right there. Almost got really kicked around a bit there, almost kind of getting into trouble. Hangs on, though. Michael Crawl getting up ahead of some other guys, gets ahead of Andy Palicki, and I believe he also got up ahead of David Fay there. Yeah, that was David Fay. He passed up. Moves in the top 3, taking full control. He's got just 2 laps left to go with Ellison and Dye right now battling for the last bit. I think Ellison honestly put on the Chargers and let this red diamond Toyota Tundra just go full haywire with no limits to his name. Kind of the heartbreaker, though, I would say, is probably John Kay's little story. The two seemed like he had the right game plan, he had the right mindset, and unfortunately, the track wasn't giving it to him either. As more trouble was going down for the number 88 of David Fay, but Kay had a pretty unique little strategy, had a pretty smart little workaround. It just did not quite click as much as I think he was hoping for, and in turn, it cost him dearly here. Final 2 laps, we'll see our top 5 on your screen. This is, look at the gap. Look at this gap here between these guys. This is how far Dye and Ellison have literally outsmarted and outplayed this field without a shadow of a doubt. That is darn impressive, to say the least. Final corners now. Ellison, now is not the time for the glitch graphic. Gremlins go on the attack, my friend, because it's time for a white flag to pop up for the ICR 38, presented in part by Last lap evading Faye right now. I think he's going to send this into kill mode, but again, how much that truck has even left? He knows he does not have much left in the tank. I think he's trying to put some pressure on Ellison, trying to make him think about it, trying to intimidate it. Ellison is losing a little bit of ground. Dye is starting to come back. This is a last minute charge. Dye, look at this. Look at this. He's coming up quick. He is coming up quick. He's got literally narrowed down by about a second and a seventh. Lost time to the bus stop. No, not by much. Ellison needs to get a workaround here in the carousel before Dye gets too crazy here. Dye's got some speed coming back at him. About a second now left to go. Can Dye get a last minute run entering into the final turns? Ellison needs to hit this final 2 turns just right because Dye will make him wish for any mistakes. One more time by. Picture perfect. Yes, he'll get it off of turn 12. Ryan Dye, 1 lap too late. Paul Ellison, the 55, wins the IRC 38. Tremendous last minute showing by Dye, but it was not to be. Your IRC 38 race winner is going to go to the number 55, a new winner here. And Paul Ellison, the 55 Tundra, takes this one home, and a big victory for him and this crew in that Red Diamond Code Red Mountain Dew 55. What a race. What a performance by Paul Ellison and this whole field here today. Every driver giving it their heart and their soul, but only one could come out on top. Ryan Dye gave it everything he had in that car, and it just did not click. Currently, right now, we're getting ready to talk with the top 3 here as they are parking it down on the track. We'll send it there in just a brief minute here, as currently we are getting set to go here on the track. Let's take a look at our final results now, popping up on your screen as your top 3 will be presented up on the show. Here is your ICR 38 presented by Replicars.com results. Paul Ellison wins this one out. Dye comes up just a little short. Michael Crowell goes third. Michael Dean, the dean of the drivers. So now it's done. Schools him in 4th. Corey Rutherford stole the pace car for the Truck Series and put a big 50 on it and called it a 5th place finisher. Jan Van Leer getting 6th, 7th to Eric Breeding. Greg Roberts getting 8th, 9th to John Kay. Will Salamone going 10th to round out the top 10. And this one, your final top 10, your final 10 drivers also up on your end right now here, race fans, as we conclude this one out here in a wild performance here on the show. What a performance by all involved, and it's time now to kind of start wrapping things up. Boys, you know the drill. Take it down there for me, would you?
And we're down here on pit road with 2 of our top 3 here at Watkins Glen for the Venom Truck Series, the ICR 38 presented by Replicars.com. We'll start it off with Ryan Dye. Ryan, our points champion last season. Another really good run, sir. Not sure where the points are going to shake out, but I'm going to assume you're still going to have that points lead going into an off week. Little bit of a strategy gamble on both sides. What were you thinking coming into the race today?
So I was thinking about 2-stopping until I got the pole. And then I got the pole, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'm fast enough to do the 1-stop and save some fuel. So the last second on the comp caution, I went ahead and pit and hoped for the best. I actually crossed the line with about 1.3 laps of fuel left, so I wish I would have went harder those last couple laps to catch Paul. But happy with the strategy, happy with my 7,839th second place finish, and we'll keep the points lead for another week.
Talking about points, Andy Politsky gave you a good run for your money last year. He struggled tonight, finishing 12th and a lap down. When you see something like that, I know you and Andy pretty good friends off the track, but how does that make you feel with your points lead, knowing that a guy like that who has given you issues last season has a little bit of a struggle tonight?
I mean, I don't ever want to wish bad on anybody, but from a point standing, Andy was probably the favorite to win this race. So when he has a bad day at a race that he's favored in, that's good for my title hopes. But you never want to see that kind of stuff happen. Michael Dean was P2 coming into points in this. He got a P4. So when I look at the point standings, I mean, I'm racing Michael Dean right now. I feel like, and then even then, Jan is pretty close as well. So, I said, we'll keep racing and we'll keep trying to click off top fives, and that'll all kind of sort itself out at the end.
Any final words? Anybody you'd like to thank before we talk to our winner tonight?
Yeah, man, I'm just happy for the opportunity to race here. Congrats to Paul. If I'm going to finish second to anybody, it would either be Paul or Garrett. So, happy with the second place and happier for Paul.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver of the number 15 Ford F-150 for Arnis Motorsports, Mr. Ryan Dye. And now, in victory lane with our winner, he is the pilot of the number 55 Toyota for Kyle Zittle Racing. Kyle Zittle Inc., my bad. I screwed that up. I knew what I was trying to say. Mr. War Eagle himself, Paul Ellison, back in victory lane for the first time since Michigan, back in season 2. Paul, how'd you get it done tonight, man? After last week we're at Martinsville, you really held serve and came close, but tonight you're on top step of the podium.
Yeah, I consider short tracks and road courses to be my weakest, and now my two best weeks this season have come with those. Lots of practice, running extra leagues, running road courses and stuff has definitely helped out. Asheville did not expect to win this. Hoped I could keep myself in the top 5. The fact that it worked out, it took other people having bad luck though. But capitalizing on it, and luck was with me tonight. I just stayed as smooth as I could and kept it driving.
We know how much. Well, we here at Venom know how much that first win at Michigan meant to you. How does this compare to that first win?
It's just as good. I mean, it's so hard to win this league. There's so many good drivers. And just to get one, especially, unexpected like this, it's wonderful. It's great. It feels great.
Looking to keep the momentum going. We have a half week. Do you think that's going to hurt you any going into Richmond, our next race in 2 weeks?
No, if anything, it'll help me because I'm really bad at Richmond. Like, I was really bad at Martinsville, and I practiced enough, got better there. I'm really bad at Richmond, so hopefully I can put some extra time in, get better there.
Well, best of luck to you going forward, sir. I guess last question. Anybody would you like to thank or anything last you'd like to say?
Yeah, definitely got to thank CJR Graphics and Corey Rutherford, excuse me. His name is Rutherford. That's how you say his name. For the paint scheme on this truck, I love it. I'm so glad I got it in victory lane. Kyle Zittle, my team owner. And I want to give a special shout out to my dad and stepmom who watch a lot of these races. That really means a lot. And a special shout out to one of my buddies, Victor, who always watches these two.
Ladies and gentlemen, your top 2 finishers here tonight at Watkins Glen, Paul Ellison and Ryan Dye. That's all we've got for you this week. Make sure to tune in 2 weeks' time when we go to Richmond and take on another short track.
For sure there indeed. Thanks down there with the boys. And again, with no discredit as well to your third place finisher today, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Krall in the number 11 coming away third out of the bunch and out of the field today. Congratulations to him on that position, that top 3 podium once again. Definitely getting the bidding speeds, getting the runs down, but today it goes to Paul Ellison with the win. So a very unique little circumstance. Road course challenge completed, and now 2 weeks from now we return with Richmond. If you just heard them from our boys in this field here. But for now, race fans, we're going to call this one good and go. From all of us here at PTM Racing TV, thank you so much for tuning in to the Venom Truck Series. We certainly hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time when the green flag flies.